I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it.
I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
We're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening.
So wake up with Michele Meiche, the place to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening.
Understand what living awake is.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Ooh, do you know and understand what it is to live awake and aware? Well, we're going to be diving into that today. Hello, everyone in the chat that's getting in the chat. Those of you on the phone lines, those of you listening later in the archives, it's really, really good to connect with you. I'm extra fired up today. I had a really good conversation with a friend of mine in Sweden, Katarina. She has been on the show before. Amazing artist, designer, also musician, singer. She has this amazing song out from years ago called Bliss by Yogini. She went by Yogini. You can find that. Just put it on, what is it called when it just keeps playing over and over? Replay, something else. But anyway, I've been out and about. I'm taking care of a friend of mine, little doggy beings, little monkey and Dorje. Hello there. Little Yorkie and a little Chihuahua. So I'm tuned in, meditated, had a long walk, a little cappuccino, having another decaf cappuccino right now. I am ready to go for your questions, comments, connections. So if you happen to be in the chat, you want to ask a question, that's fine. You just need to, let's see, I think you have to sign up. You have to sign up for Blog Talk Radio. Otherwise, you can't interact in the chat. You can just listen. It's up to you. If you're listening by phone, that's great also. But if you do have a question or a comment or you wanted a reading, you need to press 1 on the keypad. Okay, and that number is 539-5122. Press 1 on the keypad. 347-539-5122. Press 1 on the keypad. If you don't press 1, I'm not going to pick up. Okay, I might. All right, 347-539-5122. Let's just jump right in and get to callers. Feeling that there's a lot of energy shifting, a lot of energy intensification. I've been talking about it extensively about what's going on my Patreon group. I've been doing videos about what's going on, and then of course we meet live in person once a month to do deep dives and you can ask specific questions, longer questions. That's people that are doing the Soul Path journey. And then, of course, on my Pick a Card gang, oh, by the way, I'd love to have more people subscribe to my Pick a Card readings. If you watch them, I know a lot of people, I've watched stuff a lot on the TV screen, the monitor, that I would really love it. It helps other people, it helps other people find the channel, and it also inspires me. So I'm going to put out a call. Connect with me, follow me on Instagram, and then connect with the Soul Path YouTube community on my channel, Soul Insights. I changed the name again with Michele Meiche, Soul Insights and Tarot. I've got some really great stuff coming up that I'm going to be able to do more stuff, not just paid. You know, I try to do a lot of stuff that's free or, or isn't too costly or free, but we're going to have some new things coming to YouTube, so I will keep you posted on that. But for the now, Soul Insights and Tarot, that's not going away. I'm going to keep doing the readings. I love doing them. You can also email me or message me in the comments is the best way to do it on my YouTube channel. Any readings you want to see. I just got a request for some more soulmate readings, soulmate, life partner, where are they, when are they coming, what do they look like, what are they about. So I'm going to be doing some more relationship, integrating more of that on my YouTube channel. But just go to any video that you've watched, just put in the comments. You can also that's where I'm most likely going to see it, if you put it in the comments, hey, I'd love for you to talk about this or do this reading. And then, of course, for this podcast, All Things Awakenings, go to awakeningspodcast@gmail.com. And our producer, Sadie, will handle it, whether it's a guest suggestion, if it's a topic suggestion, she'll send it to me. Because this is a community. This is for all of you guys. This is not just me doing stuff just because I like it and want to. I want to do, and cover what you guys want. All right, 347-539-5122 is the phone number. Press 1 on the keypad to get in queue. Let's see who we got here. First caller. Hello, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. Who is
Hello?
it?
Hi, this is Teresa. I know we're going to talk
Teresa.
later.
Oh, good.
But I had the
Teresa,
chance.
hi. Oh,
Hi. I know we're talking later, but I just felt like I just needed to call in and say hello. And
I'm blessed you did.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm free now on Wednesdays to start listening to your podcast, which is a good thing.
Oh, good. I always love hearing from people that I know or that I've been working with or that have been listening to the show for a while, the podcast. I love it. It's exciting, Kind of makes the world not seem so looming and large, right? There's like this semblance of connection, community.
That is true. What I was wondering is definitely thinking about moving. And, one of the reasons is my husband had recent surgery, which went well. There was nothing found, which was an excellent thing. What we didn't realize was that this surgery came with a lot of complications that are so-called routine. He's in the hospital with a little urinary stuff, and he had a little shortness of breath. And we're seriously thinking about moving where there's a little bit different, easier access to health care and what.
I love that.
Where we live, there's not a large amount of variety of hospitals, and we're kind of not used to that, and it never was an issue. But do you see anything in the future as far as the move or anything?
Okay, let's see. I feel it'll be good. Now, interesting enough, I feel like you could be in it's either going to be a smaller place or laid out differently. And I do see like a lower, little fence, or it has a smaller backyard. There's something different. I definitely see a front yard and a backyard. You could be around water if you're not now. Are you around water now?
I am, but I want a beach. I want the ocean.
I think you're going to move to the beach. I think you guys are going to do like a condo along the beach. I see I don't know if it's a boardwalk, but I do see you walking a lot. It's smaller than where you are now. I don't feel the yard is as expansive, but I do see you spending a lot of time in the backyard. There's like a little table and chairs, and there is a garden. I see flowers, and I also see you growing some kinds of vegetables. But it is going to be smaller. And the reason I feel that part of it is downsizing, making things easier, but it's also because I feel you are meant to be out and about more.
Yes.
Walking more, you're going to be writing or going places to write. And I definitely do see you're near probably even walking distance from the beach. It may not be overlooking the beach, but it's not far. So I feel like it's just something that's kind of been long-term coming within you, but it's getting closer to the has it been? Okay.
Yeah, it's something that I mean, we moved to Alabama because of my husband's job, 2015, and I'm certainly not a superstitious person. I think everything happens for a reason, but there's been a series of events that just, every time something happened, I thought, this just isn't the place for us. It's not the place.
Yeah.
My husband was very reluctant because he likes to golf, and he doesn't care where he golfs, but he kind of liked our property here. We don't have big property, but, you know, we sit up from the lake. There's a lot of landscaping down to the lake, which also becomes expensive. And, you know, just reluctant to move because of, you know, the shore. There's evacuation some places. And I didn't know if I wanted to deal with that, but I said, as long as I'm within a distance where even if I had to drive 10, 15 minutes, I don't care, you know, not 3 hours.
But see, he said to get out more also, too. So this is about you guys actually expanding your routine and your circle. But I do hear you talking to him and saying, look, this is too difficult, or this is too much of a challenge, or it's going to be if something happens, or I feel like it's coming under that. I don't see something as actually really going to happen worse, but I feel like it's the catalyst.
Yeah,
you know,
I hope
it's
not.
Like the person it's like the person that gets out of breath and they think they're having, they go to the doctor and the doctor's, no, you're so healthy, it's fine, your heart's great, but you need to exercise more, or, you know, how your stress levels. It's like a little, sometimes our messages come through the body or something related to the body, so we make changes.
Yeah, and
that makes
you know, and it's been a challenge because even though the surgery was so successful and they literally found nothing, I think I told you about that, about the tumor, which turned out to be not a tumor, nothing. That's the good part. You know, the bad part was we didn't know that this surgery came with what they consider routine complications, and it just came to a head Monday, and we literally sat in an emergency room 8 hours waiting to be seen. From 6 o'clock to 3 a.m., and he's still in the hospital. You know, they're still working and getting everything straightened out, and, you know, there were some problems with urinary, and I asked for another consultation, which they're doing. They're very good. I have to say the hospital's very good, and he's being treated very well. But I thought, oh, my goodness, like we had to travel 25 miles to that hospital. And the hospital near us, not only is it not that good, but it's been on diversion because they don't have enough help. And I guess that's around the country where there's not a lot of
everywhere.
But I just want to, I said the time has come to be in a place where everything's not as spread out, where there's more to do, you know, where you could just go get a drink at a restaurant or go to a coffee shop without having to go 20 miles down the road.
Right.
But so you do definitely move, and we're not opposed to downsizing more. That's not a big problem at all. So
it just seems to be it's much better for you somehow. And the layout is better. I don't know what that means, but the layout seems better.
Okay. Do you see anything else happening, or?
Well, there's a lot. I'd have to go deeper into that, but I think we got to stop here because I got to get to other callers. But I think that that's a good call. What you're looking at, I think, just trust your intuition on this because you're getting the right message. Definitely the right nudges. Yeah.
I appreciate this, and I will be talking to you after the show. We have a session.
Oh, good. I look forward to it, Teresa. Talk to you then. Caller, hi, you're on air.
Hi. How are you?
What's your first name? I'm doing great. What's your first name?
Keisha.
Hey, Keisha. Welcome.
Hi. I'm calling because I'm like shifting my career right now, and I have an event that's coming up like in like a week and a half, probably a little bit over a week. I'm not like as concerned. For over the last few days, I've been like a lot less stressed about like tickets not selling, but like I'm like trying to see what you see as far as this event coming up. Is it going to sell out, or you know, tickets are going to sell in general? Because right now, like ticket sales are really low.
Let's see. Is this where is this at?
Florida. It sounded like you were about to say Florida.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot of energy around Florida, even around Teresa, the caller before. There's something around Florida, either people visiting or moving there. Are you in Florida right now? Okay. Let's see, Keisha. Yeah, you are in this weird. You are in this transition phase or working differently. So you're having to build back up. This one may not be. There's something just slightly that you're going to have to change to get the part of it. I'll be honest. It's the energy. Like I feel things picking up more August with this month. But for some people, it may be more mid-August, end of August. And I would say for you, Keisha, as well as anybody else that's listening to this that feels a little stuck or something they planned isn't quite panning out like they want it to, is to somehow just try to, process the emotions, the fear, the concern, process the emotions that are coming up, and then pull back. I like to go for a walk. I do meditation, then I go for a walk and just kind of get out of my head, whatever that is, whatever works for any of you. And for you, Keisha, and then, and you can even ask the question before, either while you're doing the activity, the walking or hiking, or it has to be something rhythmic. It could be riding your bike, it could be swimming. Usually being out in some kind of flow helps. It can sometimes help with, it's best that way. I mean, I'm trying to think of sometimes it's happened to me like in the gym, but definitely not lifting weights or yoga class or working out. It has to be kind of you on your own. And then see what inspires you and what inspired action comes in. I feel you're just slightly off of something, if that makes sense. There's like something you haven't quite yet hit upon, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
I actually was told that by a spiritual teacher that I have. She said it's something that like needs to be tweaked. Now I don't your guess is good as mine.
Well, I mean, if we were doing a longer reading, I could dive into it, but I'm definitely seeing there's something slightly off, and right now what's really being supported, especially for people that are consciously on a path, soul path, spiritual life path, soul path, mainly the soul path, is we're wanting to, this guide, our higher self, is wanting us to create more from the soul and less from the ego. So it takes a little refining until you kind of find it and it clicks. It's almost like cooking and you season it and it's like, oh, no, that's not quite right. And then you put a little more and then it's, oh, my God, that tastes so good. So you're going to have to kind of feel it out, and then that's going to get into align your individual flow into universal flow, which is the flow of abundance. Things will just start clicking in. So it's an alignment. This is all about soul alignment, which I have been talking about in my pick a card readings. In fact, Keisha, you may want to watch the latest one that I did on what new opportunities are opening for you. And then also another one that I did about what you need to focus on.
Okay.
Yeah, go back. Listen, that was the one that just came out this Monday. And then also, let me see, there's another one that I go into. Also, to pick a card, what's gaining momentum. And then the other one where I go, what do you need to focus on, is pick a card, what do you need to know about, let's see, where is it? It's, what do you need to know about your current situation and focus on for success and abundance? And that one was a month ago.
Okay.
So
is it something that I have to...
Yeah, because you definitely have to, you haven't hit upon it yet.
Okay. So it's like something I need to do,
your teacher was right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm working personally with quite a few people that I'm helping them with that. Not to say you have to work with me, but I'm seeing what I'm saying when I'm sharing this is I'm seeing that with a lot of people where they have a good idea, but they're just slightly off. And that means you're not, then if you're not in that enough alignment, the juice can't go through. And the juice is, right, it's energy, it's people, it's money, it's whatever. It's health, it's abundance. Once you're in that juice, and the thing is we're all being trained or to do this. We're being trained because eventually we won't have a need. And I'm not talking about a year or two. It's going to be a while. But we won't have the function of the ego. We won't need that part of us. Right now we very much psychologically need that part. But that part tends to go to what's tried and true, what to do,
Okay.
So it's a retraining to how do you pull back, tune in, and see what the higher directive is, where it's the inner knowing. Okay. What's the aha? And that's why things are slowing down. But I do feel like if you, watch those videos, tune in, I feel like you'll get, that's what I should be doing, or that's the way to word it, or that's the title, or that's the focus. You'll start getting what's more in alignment with you.
Okay, that makes sense. I actually started meditating again recently. It's just something like I was just out of nowhere, like I need to meditate more. So you're right. I'll get out in nature, meditate, and kind of tune in so I get aligned because. Yeah,
because that's the thing is you want to get in that meditative state to then ask the question. So it may not come right away, or a lot of times you're doing something and then boom, the idea comes in and it's like, or sometimes what I'll hear is I'll keep hearing something over and over and over and I'm like, okay, that's it. So that's the key, and then that means we're creating from the higher self, the higher directive.
Right, and it's weird because I had a period where I was like stressed about finances, and that just cleared up. So I feel like now my brain is a little bit more like clear to actually listen.
Yeah. Yes.
So
yes, and that is it. You just said it. It's all about the listening. That's what we're doing. The retraining is to listen to that part of us that already knows what's doing. And see, what's interesting, we look at it in a 3D world that a lot of stuff is getting automated, right? And people are freaking out because eventually we're going to have a lot more free time, but to know what to do and what really hits, we've got to tune in. We can't use the automated portion of us, and just so that to me the outpicturing of automation is about connecting in more to the higher mind or the creative mind.
Okay.
So yeah, let us know how it goes, okay, Keisha?
Will do. Thank you again.
Posted. You're welcome. Bye. Okay. Hi, you're on air.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing great. Who is this?
My name is Christina.
Hi, Christina. Do you have a
All right,
question?
I have a question. I do have a question.
Okay,
so
cool.
I made a career shift like a few months ago because I'm self-employed, and what I was doing before was the business that I was getting was slowing down. So I made a career shift, which is in the same field, but just like a different position, right? And even though I made this career shift, it's very slow, and I do know slow and steady wins the race. But right now I'm having like financial issues. So I'm thinking like, did I make the right career shift? I want to know, is it something I should be doing, or I don't know. Do you see anything with me like my finances getting better?
It is, but it is going to be slow. You may need to do something else or add something to what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I think that there's an addition that perhaps may or may not have come in yet, whether it's something you're doing or investing or something on the side. That's another thing I'm seeing with a lot of people is that there's something on a soul level a lot of people want to do. And
so it's something on a soul level. So I know I keep getting that I need to do content. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spirit will make it a little I call it pinchy, so we get going. Because a lot of times we do something by the necessity. Like we think, well, I got to make extra money, so I guess I better start that idea I want, or I better get that second job, or I better send out those emails or invites or whatever, or I better talk to so-and-so. Yeah, so that's what's happening to you. Yeah.
Do you see it as like being a content creator? Is it that? Do you feel?
If that's your soul, if that's what you want to do, absolutely, yeah. I feel I'm getting this whole just a lot of change. I wish I would put my predictions all in one place because, not to brag, but they do come through. Tested. 98% accuracy. That's very high.
Okay.
So I'm seeing less and less on regular media or TV. I'm seeing a lot more people do things individually or with collectives. I'm seeing some of the bigger social media sites being broken down, crunched down, and issues with the government on rules and laws and the idea of monopoly, all those kinds of things I feel are going to start next year coming into play. And you already see it, I guess, a little bit. Some of my clients have told me, So I do feel there's going to be a lot of new platforms, apps, opportunities. And some of the older ones are going to be branching out, trying different things. But I do feel the whole idea of, because it's the soul. The soul is about creativity. That's the whole reason we're here. We have learning lessons. We have all these things, but basically it's about creating. We're here even beyond learning lessons. We didn't come here to learn. Learning is a byproduct. It's like when a kid is born, an infant, they didn't say, oh, I came here to learn. They came here to explore. They start looking and learning new things and meeting people and exploring and creative expression. So you're going to see a lot more ramping up about individual creative expression, the individual, the small business, smaller business, even smaller than small business, even smaller than cottage industry. People working 1, 2, 3 people together, having these collectives, these initiatives, co-ops. That's going to be a biggie, co-op situations. So I would say, yes, play whatever it is that you creatively want to express and then receive from, I would go in that, make that in addition to what you're doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're very welcome. Good question.
Bye-bye.
Really good.
Thank you. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Let's see who's next here. Hello. You're on air.
Hello.
Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle. This is Marlena.
Hi, Marlena. Welcome.
Hi. It's nice to talk to you again. We've spoken a few times.
Yeah, I think a while back. It's been a while.
Yes, a while back. I'm calling because I have a question about a pet, a fur baby that is on the way. I know, and I was just wondering if you see anything or anything you can tell me, only because I said I would never do the pet thing again because putting down my furs after 18 years was really tough.
I know, that's how I am. Oh, I hear you. I so hear you.
Yeah, it's really tough. They're great, but it's a hard thing to do. So I've decided to take the dive again, and I'm very excited and I'm very nervous. So I was just wondering if there's anything you can channel or see in regard to the new edition.
Okay, let's see. It's interesting, some similarities but very different, and I do feel like there's like pain, like triggering and kind of sadness, but then as you move through that, there's this amazing heart connection. And I also feel something exploring or going out and about or doing more. Are you going to be able to do more? Maybe because your other dog was sick for a while. I feel you're more active with this dog for some reason.
Yeah, I think I probably will be. Yeah, the age that I'm at is different and everything.
Oh, okay. Because I definitely see that you're more. You're more active somehow, or more. I don't know. This little being is going to bring something different out. It's a different part of you that comes out, and you're going to notice it. You're going to notice as I look further into the future. It's definitely not the same doggy being or type of dog or something. There's something very different. Like this dog brings, I don't know how to say it, another part of you, another part or aspect of you. Bringing you out of your shell, too, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There could be something meeting someone through this dog. Now, I don't know if it's romantic or friend. There's something about you with people with this. Maybe you're more social or more active. But there's definitely one trait. I don't know what it is because these are just meant to be little mini reads and chats. But I definitely feel that you're going to notice and even comment about the difference. Or, they don't let me do this, or I can't do that, or I have to do this, or I have to do this every daily or a couple of weeks. There's something like that, and maybe your doggy had that too a little bit. But there seems to be some predominant and prominent feature.
Okay, good. And as far as names, are you coming across any names?
No. Have you not named him?
Yeah, I can't quite get there for a name yet. So I was just wondering if there's anything you sent.
Oh, well then let it be until you know. I feel like it's a very new connection, so just let it be a little bit and then trust.
Okay.
That would be my thought, my perception on it.
Okay,
just
good.
Let it unfold a bit. Yeah. I'll be curious to see what that, predominant, that characteristic is, that trait, that. Yeah, what it is. All right, Marlena, keep us posted, and you take good care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. To the next caller. Okay, if you're waiting in the queue, please press 1 on your keypad to get on air. 347-539-5122. Press 1 on the keypad. You can also ask questions in the chat. I usually ask people to cap everything. I won't take it as yelling or screaming. It's just easier for me to see, or put a big question mark or something so that I know you have a question in the chat. Again, the call-in number, 347-539-5122. Press 1 on the keypad. Hi, you're on air.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, who's this?
My name is Sonia.
Hi, Sonia. What's your question?
My question is, my husband and I have been separated for about 5 months. And I want to know if we see us getting back together.
If what now?
If you see us getting back together, or if it's just over.
Oh, well, okay. I'm going to check a couple ways. I feel he's, a lot of power struggles. I don't feel he's on his own. So maybe if something doesn't work out, I feel other women around him. I don't know. It's not, definitely not in the short term. I almost feel there's a lot of power struggles or arguing. So I kind of feel like he's got this like wall up. And I don't know if in long term, and something also with finance. There's financial issues, financial focus, something with the finance that's also. Is he wanting to just stay separated and not divorced right now?
I think so, and I also believe that he just don't want me to see other people as well while we're separated or whatever. But he would like to do what he would like to do.
Well, he is doing it. He is doing it.
Yeah.
He is seeing other people. He is out and about. That's what I don't know, Sonia. You got to really think about it, because I kind of feel like he would be the type, if something doesn't work out after a period of time, he would come back. But he is trying to get with other people, other women.
He keeps lying to me, telling me he's not, yes. But I know he is.
Yes, you're right. Trust your intuition. Yes, he is lying. That is my perception. That's what I'm getting psychically. So, and I feel like he could let it, because of the money, he could just leave it open-ended and not do anything. Basically, he's trying to bridge to somebody new. I don't feel anything is totally locked in or working out yet, but if it did, then he would get the divorce. So I think you've got to feel out what's best for you. What are you really needing, and were you getting it in this relationship? Is this healthy enough? Can you work through this? Because I'm not getting a really life-enhancing picture of him at the moment, being helpful or supportive. So I think this is about you looking at what's best for you, and do you want to look over your shoulder all the time, or is this something you think is salvageable?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I think your intuition is very spot on. I think your intuition, your gut, is very spot on, and I would just trust that. Do what's best for you, with coaching, therapy, healing, creativity, expanding. Do what's best for you, so you're in the most place of wholeness. And then it's easier to make a decision, even if it's a tough decision. Whatever the decision ends up being, it's easier to make it from that place.
All right.
Okay? All right, Sonia, big hug. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Hi, you're on air. Whoopsie. Oops, it just hold on. The phone just went.
Hello?
It clicked off. Yeah, you're on air. Hi, who's this?
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, this is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
I was calling. Hey, I'm calling from Florida, and
there's the Florida call. I kept picking up Florida. People move into Florida, living in Florida, now calling from Florida. Welcome.
Yes. I was wanting to ask a question.
Okay.
I have desperately tried all different types of diets, and it's real important that I lose at least 10, 20 pounds. I've got rheumatoid arthritis, so I'm trying so hard to be healthy, and I've tried so many diets, and it's like my weight is not going off, not even a pound. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I've tried cutting out pastas and sodas, and I've just tried everything, vinegar and lemon juice. I'm like, there's got to be something I'm missing. How do I lose just 10, 20 pounds?
Well, a couple things. Have you had your hormones checked out?
Yes, I'm post-menopause, so my hormones are like zero.
Yeah. So get, usually when there's fluctuations hormonally or challenges, a lot of times, for one, you get the body moving. I don't know if you eat sugar at all, but sometimes cutting that thing out, and gluten. I mean, there's like gluten-free pasta, but definitely cutting out sugar for a period of time helps with the arthritis. And just getting the body moving, like, okay, I'm going to walk 5 minutes. I'm going to walk around the block. In fact, there's a lot of...
I've been walking. I started walking for the past month. I've been walking 2.5 miles in the morning and 2 miles in the evening. So it's like I'm trying.
Okay, but I'm gonna suggest something that maybe you start a little less. Keep doing and also a month is not that long. Sometimes it takes a few months for the body weight to shift. Our body always goes into homeostasis, same as our mind. So sometimes it plateaus at a certain level that it's adapted to. But I would look up certain herbs that also help. One of them I like to take is rhodiola.
How do you spell that?
RHODIOLA. Rosia. Get that on Amazon. And then also by this company, Biotics Research. They have GTA. Yeah, GTA Forte, and that helps. That supports the thyroid, and then there's Thyrostim by them also, Thyrostim. But that supports the adrenals, the hormonal balance. A lot of times weight, and again, you may even want, you can check, tune into your own intuition, but a lot of times supplementation is needed. And, you may want to work with a healthcare practitioner or naturopath or someone. I have found for me, I was on thyroid stuff years ago. I'm not on that now and don't need it. But there are certain supplementation because if your, let's say, cortisol balance it's too much or too little, there's an imbalance, that can cause the holding on of the weight. And sometimes hormonally, it's better to just do a shorter walks, maybe more times a day, 10, 15 minutes. Because if we're overstressing our body, even if it's positive activity and exercise, stress is stress. So I would say take it kind of slow, maybe watch what you're eating, maybe something late at night, maybe don't eat past 6 or something, or eat, fruit at night. I definitely am getting, it's like kind of with you, and if I tune in, psychically, because I don't really feel it's a psychic question. I feel like it's more about you understanding your body and when you can eat or what's best for you to eat or what time, to eat. I feel it's little tweaks, little things for you to do, and then the weight will start coming off. But you might be under a lot of stress, and there could be hormonal stress, and then even though walking is really good, the amount might be too much for your body at this particular time.
Because of my RA, maybe?
Let me ask you, when you go to walk, is it like, do you feel your body's going, yes, let's go?
Well, because of the rheumatoid, I hurt really bad, but I push myself through that pain, and sometimes I'll stop every few feet because I've got injury to my back, a severe impingement, but they won't do surgery because the inflammation is too high in my body. So I stop every few minutes, but then I still push through the pain, and by the time I get done,
it's the pushing, but it's the push through the pain. There's a certain level of pain that in my perception, it's okay to push through. I have some things also with body, so I get it. But I think you probably need to pull back a little bit. And there's another thing. It's by Solgar, Solgar, Solgar 7. That can help. It's boswellia and turmeric, but it's by a company called Solgar, Solgar. It's a supplemental company, number 7. Disclaimer, I'm just giving suggestions.
I take turmeric.
But this has boswellia in it. BOS, I think, WELIA.
Yes, I know the herb, boswellia.
Yes.
Yes, I know that herb.
It's fantastic for... So I think sometimes with the body, we got to pull back, be a little more gentle, and not the whole idea of push through. It's like, because if you're in a lot of pain, see, pain also causes, pain is inflammation. So you may come back, you might want to ice, and then you might want to do less. See, the pain is inflammation. Inflammation can cause pain. So that's why I feel you're in a kind of this catch-22. You're just going to have to rethink it and then create a different model of how you're doing things, and just adjust it, tweak it a bit, and go, okay, let's gently do this. Pain means,
what
if you're
is
having
the
to
BPA?
stop, that is helps balance hormones. You can look online. This is going to be your mission, to get to know your body more. So whether it's things that you find online or in the health food store or a healthcare practitioner, all of the above, this is your time to say, okay, I want to get more active, healthier, lose the weight, but you have to take a multi-tiered approach, right? Kind of a holistic approach, especially with the conditions you have. I know many people that have changed rheumatoid arthritis by their diet, so it's possible to shift that, to not have that anymore. I worked with a woman years ago that she had it so bad her toes were like stuck and curled, and so her hands were like stuck and kind of leaning to one side. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, that's how my hands are, and I've got the drop swan neck on my fingertips, and my hands are sideways.
Yeah. Well, she went from all of that to nothing. Do you eat sugar?
I try not to. I cut out all the sodas, and I do a lot of herbal. Everything I do herbal as far as for pain medicine. I do the turmeric and the omega-3, and I've been doing so much research. It's like, okay, I don't even know what to do anymore.
Well, you can definitely turn it around. You can definitely turn it around. I've seen people do that. But again, everybody's body is a little bit differently. And I always find, even if people work with a doctor or medical practitioner, it's good to know your own body and what works for you. So just perhaps use this as an invitation to get to know yourself better through your body at this time. So pull back. If you're having to push through the pain, maybe pull back. Maybe it's only a 10-minute walk. And then maybe you ice or relax or do something, and then you go out again. You know what I'm saying? So find what works. Find the soft spot for you, the sweet spot.
Oh,
all right, Michelle, keep us posted. All right, let us know how you're doing, okay?
Thank you, dear, so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, you're on air. Welcome.
Hi, Michelle. This is Valerie. How are you?
Hi, Valerie. Doing great. How are you?
Good. You were right about the wall. It's almost completed. You said it was going to be built this year.
Oh, I did. I don't even remember I don't remember my readings. I connected the energy, but okay, good. I'm glad to know that was accurate. Whatever that wall is, it's done.
Almost completed.
Oh, somebody in the chat. That's so true, Lynn. Sorry. For Michelle, you're still on the line. A good functional medicine doctor can be really helpful. Yeah, okay. Just so you know that, too. Functional medicine is great. I have a doctor that does. And usually they're very open to supplements and herbs or herbs and whatever you're doing or on your own. At least mine is. All right, Valerie, good to know. So now what's your question? What's going on in your life now?
Okay, so I want to see now if you see a relationship coming in this year or next.
Okay, let's see. I get definitely, and then I get the energy of a big smile. So let's see. Okay, let's see. I am also getting something maybe even around time of Libra this year, but I feel more next year. But there could be someone you meet. Now, I'm also getting two names around you, Craig or Greg. It could be both Craig or Greg. And Harold. A lot more men around you. Are you starting to date?
No, but there's a lot of guys around me right now because they're working on the project. But that's kind of different.
Oh, that's why I'm going, there's a lot of guys around. Well, that's a good sign. You know, see, those kinds of things, I mean, even though you're not going to be dating them, but that is a shift in resonance where you're drawing in these men. That's why, okay, because I do see a lot of men around. And also something towards the close of the year into about springtime brings you into some social situation or social group, or it could be a course class, there's some center, something, some kind of meetup, something where there's new people around you. I see new environment somehow the environment. It could even be like a clubhouse, if that makes sense, or someone has a gathering at a clubhouse or something that's going to be going on, ongoing. So, yeah, there definitely is someone coming in your life, and I feel you know right away. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if you're going out with multiple people or you've met multiple people recently and then you meet one person and then you just know. And it's not like you have to sit down and have a talk with this person, with this guy, or say, where are we going, what's going on. It's just you're going to kind of know. It puts a smile on your face. You're very relaxed. You're much more relaxed about the relationship, about the situation. Yeah. So definitely there is someone.
Any clue about what he does or anything?
No, not in a quick read like this. I can't get that detail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would just look at that there's all these guys around working on stuff. That's kind of a sign. You know, it's energetically, the vibration, the resonance of that male energy is coming in stronger. And it's also, I feel like in the next few months to the start really around the close of November on, you're somehow activated more. Okay. Because I don't feel he's around you. It's a new circle. It's a new situation that brings that person in.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're very welcome.
Bye-bye.
Ooh, you can feel the energy moving and grooving. Lots of stuff starting to pick up for people. Moves, changes, relationships, collaboration, lot happening. Chaos always does that. Chaotic energy is also creative energy. All right, you lovely awakening soul lights. Time for our second half of the program, our awakening dialogue. We have with us today Echo Bodine, spiritual healer, writer, and also director of the Center for Intuitive Living. I will leave the calls open on the switchboard, whatever Echo and I are talking about, and in talking about the book and anything in the related topic, hover. But as far as readings or psychic readings, won't be doing that. If you want to join me next week, we'll do that. But if you're listening and you're like, hey, I got a question about this, or, you know, can you explain that a little more? Love to hear from you. 347-539-5122. All right, going to bring Echo on. Hi, Echo.
Hello, sweetheart. Oh, honey, just, listening to you give that lady psychic information. Honestly, you know what I have to say to you? God bless you for doing this work because, honey, I'm so fried on all of the... Honestly, honey, it's like...
I love
wow,
it.
just listening to you. Oh, and loving your enthusiasm about it. Oh, I think it's wonderful, really. Oh, God bless you.
And you know what I love? I used to do stuff also on TV, doing readings, and most readers hated doing the audience or cold call, and I'm like, I love that. I love that ping I get. I'm serious, so I love it. Oh, my God. So
God bless you, girl. Honey, I think I'm hanging out with too many old psychics who have been doing it for a very long time. You know, we've all just, my brother, I have a very psychic brother, and we're both like, oh, my God, if one more person asked me.
I've been channeling since I was 4, and I've been doing readings since, even when I was modeling and acting, I was doing readings. It's just the way that I do it. Yeah. I love it. I do other stuff as well, writing and other things and media and art, but A minute or two.
God.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Everybody has their calling. You know, some people run marathons till their last breath, you know, and I used to race. I wouldn't do that now. I wouldn't do, you know, a 10K or race. But, yeah, everybody has their way. But, Echo, let's connect with you. First of all, what's the name of your book? I couldn't find that.
Okay. All right. You know what, honey? I've got let's see, these phones that I have. I've got two, and I am not hearing you very good. So I am going to find. I'm walking around my house. I will find this other phone because it has a twin somewhere in my house, and then hopefully I'll be able to hear you really good. Because
well, I hear you.
There
really
it is.
Coming out.
Oh, good, honey. I'm glad. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good. Oh, God. I thought, uh-oh. I wiped you out here. Okay, there.
Do you hear me?
All right. Yeah, honey, I can. There, that's better. Okay, so would you say that question one more time, please?
Oh, okay. I just wanted the name of your book. I want to dive in. The Director of Center for Intuitive Living. I want to connect with you, you know, everything. But what also the name of the book and where people can
The name of the book is How to Live a Happily Ever After Life.
Okay, I did have that actually. Okay. Ever after. Well, that's what everybody wants. Afterlife and life now.
No kidding.
Beginning, middle, and end. Right, Echo?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I want to dive into that too, but I also am curious about the just how you started. Like I like to say we have so many awakenings in our life, but maybe one of the first, or like something's a little bit different, or how you saw things differently, and then what the awakening to get you on this path that you've been on as a spiritual healer and writer in this genre. And also, what was the awakening to start the center? That's quite an undertaking.
Oh, gosh. Okay, honey. All right, let me think. All right, let's start at the beginning. The beginning is 1965, and I was 17 years old, a senior in high school, and one of my brothers was learning how to play the drums. It was after dinner. We were all sitting around the dinner table, my dad, mom, two brothers, and a sister. And my one brother got up. He always practiced his drums after dinner. So he went downstairs, and he was kind of clanking away. And all of a sudden, God, Michelle, the nicest drumming music came from the den. And we all just stopped and looked at our dad, and he said, I don't know, it must be the record I bought him. And after, really, it was only like 30 seconds, and my brother came running up the stairs and said, did you hear it? Did you hear it? Did you hear it? And we said, yeah, what was it? And he said a white figure floated through the door, across the room, put its hands on top of my brother's hands, and played this music. And my brother said, I tried to drop my sticks. He said I had my eyes closed and I could still see him. And he was really upset, obviously. And, he said, oh, he's never going to play the drums again. He's never going downstairs again. He was really noticeably upset. And so my mom was in a prayer group at the time, and one of the women had mentioned that she had been to a psychic. Now, honey, I don't know how old you are, but back in 1965, you had to know somebody that went to a psychic. Psychics didn't advertise back then. It was really kind of a hush-hush thing, But this woman had mentioned to my mom that she had gone to the psychic. So Mom called her and said, I need the number of that psychic. She called the psychic. The woman's name was Mrs. Olson, sweetest lady from
oh my God, what
England.
a name.
Yeah. She was from England. Honey, she had the coolest accent ever. Oh, my God. And so my mom says, hello, Mrs. Olson. My name is May Bodine, and we just had an unusual experience. Mrs. Olson says, yes, Mrs. Bodine, I've been expecting your phone call. And she says, this happened for a very important reason. I need to see you and your oldest daughter for a psychic reading. And she said that spirit was my brother's guardian angel who, when he was living, he played the drums. And so Mom said to her pretty much, okay, I'll get back to you on that, because we were so freaked out. Oh, God, Michelle. Honey, I can't even tell you how freaked out we were. And, I mean, we none of this. We didn't have any of this stuff that we were aware of. So, okay. Right. So we went to see Mrs. Olson for a reading. And that's when she told Mom that she had psychic abilities and that she would be a well-known psychic someday, that I had them, my brother Michael had them, and that my sister Nikki would come into her psychic abilities in her mid-40s. Okay, so then I went in for my session. She told me that I was born with all 4 of the psychic abilities and with the gift of healing. And she said that I would someday be a well-known psychic and spiritual healer, and that I would teach others how to develop their abilities and teach them about the gift of healing. She said, you'll write several books, be on radio and TV, and you will travel around the world. Okay. So I said to this lady, okay, Mrs. Olson, 2 things. 1, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. I don't know what psychic abilities are. I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, and 2, I don't want any of this stuff. I just want to have a nice, normal life. And she said, you can have a nice, normal life in your next life, but this is what you came here to do in this lifetime. And she said, you have a lot of things to work through first, but this will happen. And she said, a teacher will come along in your life sometime in the next 6 weeks. And she said, and she will teach you and your mother how to develop your psychic abilities. And honest to God, Michelle, oh, yeah. And she said, Echo, your father is at home with a migraine headache, which he was. And she said, I'm supposed to tell you 2 things about the gift of healing. 1, always use white hankies underneath your hands when you're channeling healing. And 2, don't ever forget that it's God that heals people, not you. So she said the rest you'll have to learn on your own, and then you will teach others how to do this. So, oh God. So on the way home, Mom and I are both saying, why? Why do we have to do this stuff? And, oh my God. So we get home, and I said to my dad, who was laying in bed, I said, Dad, the psychic said, and he was not happy, Michelle, that we went to a psychic that night. He was not happy about this at all. And but he's laying in bed, and I said, Dad, the psychic said, oh God, that I was born with the gift of healing. And so I said, can I put some hankies on your head and channel healing to you? And my dad's just laying there. He goes, just don't hurt my head. And I said, oh, okay. Honey, I had no clue what I was doing. But I took 2 of his hankies and I put them on his head, and I put my hands on him. And honest to God, they heated up like little heating pads. And I thought, oh my God. My mom was standing next to me, and then they started to quiver a little bit. And I said, Mom, I'm not doing this. They're really hot. And honey, you know what? It was maybe a minute, and they cooled off all by themselves. And my dad said, well, I'll be damned if my headache isn't gone. And oh my God, girl, I was so freaked out. Oh my God. And so anyway, that's how it all got started. And within that 6-week period, we did get a phone call from a spiritualist minister here in the Twin Cities who said that her spirit guides gave her our names along with 6 other people, and that she was supposed to teach us how to develop our abilities. So we went with the intention of only going once. It was like, okay, let's just go and we'll see what this is all about, and then we will never go back. And the first night we went to class, and you know what, Michele, when she explained what psychic abilities were, that you get pictures in your head, you get words pop into your mind, you are so sensitive when you're around other people. You feel their pain, their physical pain, emotional pain. And when you smell things from the deceased, she said that was the 4 gifts. Honey, I said, well, yeah, I have all that stuff, but doesn't everybody have all that stuff? I really didn't know that that was what psychic abilities were. And and then
I had that as well. I think because you have it so much, you think other people do. Why would you question it? Until you kind of get out there more in the world. But especially
that's
as a child, right?
Exactly.
You would just assume other people. Why wouldn't they have it? Because you have it.
Yes, I honestly thought everybody had this stuff, and so that's why I never talked about it. I never said anything to anybody. I just thought, honey, I remember being in 2nd grade, and I would just look around the class, and I would know who was going to be sick the next day. And so then the next day, school would come, and we'd go, and, folks, they'd say, little Sarah's sick today. And I'd think, well, didn't you know that yesterday? I mean, I never really understood why other people didn't comment about the same pictures that I got in my head. But I just thought, well, okay, I guess they didn't know that, but I never thought it was anything significant. And that's how the whole thing got started, honey. So we took classes. We took classes for, several months, and probably a full year. To tell you the truth, I can't remember back that far, but we took classes for quite a while and learned all about spirit guides, ghosts, how to predict the future, how to interpret visions. Honey, there was so much to learn. And I, I was the one in the class. Everybody else was so excited that they had these abilities. And I was so resistant to it just because it all scared me so much. And so it took me a while. It took me longer than the other students in this class. But, then it was 1980, and I just had the thought, well, the thought came into my head to teach other people. Because, what I did was I went on to college. I was determined to do what I wanted to do. So really, I went to college for 3 years. I went to barber school. I was a secretary for a while. I did a lot of different jobs. And then when I was 29 years old, I just had things that, life's circumstances said, okay, Echo, it's time to do this full time. So I was 29 years old, and I started to do this full time. And, honey, oh, man, all that is just, God, it seems like lifetimes ago now. But, yep, that's been my career. Doing psychic readings, channeling healing. I've had really cool spirit guides over the years that have taught me about the gift of healing. And it was one of my guides showed up one day and said, we need to write a book about healing because it's getting too complicated. People are complicating it too much. And so I said to them, I said, you guys, I don't know the first thing about writing a book. And they said, well, we'll help you with it. And so it was really sweet because each day when I would wake up, they'd say, okay, now let's write about this today. So I'd just get out my little legal pad and I'd write, and oh my God, girl, honey, I think I had 17 pages, and I thought, oh, this will make a great book. And so I showed it to a friend of mine. She was an astrologer, and she had written a few books, and so I said to her, "What do you think this would be a good book?" And oh God, it's funny. And she said, well, let me just read it and go through it, and I'll get back to you. So I put it on the back burner, and then probably a month later, I got a letter from a publishing company, and they said, what you've written is a booklet. And they said, if you can add personal stories to this book and bring it up to 125 pages, they said, then we would consider publishing it. And I thought, 125 pages? What? But you know what, I just, my guides, they were so cool because they would remind me of, well, remember when we worked on this person? Oh, yeah. And so we got it up to 125 pages, and they published it, and that started the whole publishing thing. So that's my story.
Wow, that's great. And
know,
what brings
honey.
you the most joy, do you think? What brings you the most joy?
Gosh. You know, I really love it when, you know, like when a new group of students show up and they're so excited about learning about their abilities. And just, you know, like when I'm explaining to them, just like my teacher did, I explain it very simple. I keep it simple for people. Or when I teach a healing class, oh my God, they're so excited about it. And that's always been really fun for me. Now I had to close the teaching center because of the pandemic. So now I do all my classes on Zoom. But still, it's so fun for me to see, you know, the light bulbs go on over their heads and they're like, oh, I did that. Oh, you know, it's so fun when people realize what these abilities are, and just to help them develop these abilities is that gives me a lot of joy. A lot.
Yeah.
So, and then there's
the proverbial light bulb going off. It is really, very rewarding.
Yes, and you know, then there's the whole issue of ghost busting, which is really a silly term because it's more like ghost counseling than ghost busting. But,
I like that.
But, honey, this was, I don't know, probably 30, 35 years ago, 40 years ago. One of my students said that, I'll tell you. Oh, Michele, you have to hear this story. Okay, so the very first time that I went on a ghost hunting job, Mom and I were taking classes, and one of my mom's friends called her and asked her if we would come and look in her attic and see if there was anything up there, because she said she heard voices and footsteps. So, okay, sure. And so we're driving out to her house, and I said to my mom, what are we looking for? And she said, well, honey, they're hearing noises and footsteps and voices up in the attic. So, okay. And I said, Mom, are we looking for a ghost? And she said, well, I don't really know what we're looking for. And then I said, Mom, what are we going to do if we find one? And she said, honey, I don't really know. So, I mean, that's how much knowledge we had. We had no knowledge at all. Ghosts, and I was raised on Casper, like my generation. And so, honest to God, Michele, when we got there, we go up the stairs to the attic, and we look around, and I am looking for a little white blobby thing. Okay, I'm thinking that's what it's going to look like, is a white blob of energy. And strangely enough, there was a man and a woman and a girl and a boy standing over in the corner of the room, but they were invisible. We could see them, but they were invisible. Like my mom's friend Carol, she couldn't see them. But I said to my mom, do you see those people over there? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, why are they there? Honest to God, Michele, I did not know that a ghost was the soul of someone. Honey, I didn't know that. And so really, we're standing there just looking at these people. And so into my head, after I said to my mom, well, I wonder why they're there, into my head comes the words, my husband was an alcoholic and a smoker, and we all perished in the fire, and he won't let us go to the other side. I looked at my mom, and I said, did you hear that? And she said, I did. So I said, well, what do we do? And she said, I don't know. Honestly, honey, we didn't know what to do. And so my mom, she said, well, you guys, you have to leave. You should go to heaven. I mean, and then, and they did. They left the room. Okay, but we thought, wow, okay, well, we got rid of some people, but the ghosts never showed up because there was never a little white blobby thing that came through the room. And honestly, we did not know that those people were considered ghosts. And when we went back to class and we told Bertie and the rest of the class, we went on this job and there were these people, Bertie was the one, our teacher said, that is what a ghost is. It's the soul of someone who has chosen not to go on to the other side. And so then she worked with us and taught us, the next time you go to someone's house, and I said to her, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. Oh no, I'm not doing any of this ghost stuff. And she said, well, if you do have an encounter, the one thing you have to remember is not to show fear, because a ghost will breathe in your fear, and that makes them more powerful. They become bigger, taller, and they have more energy to do things. Because I've had 2 ghosts try to push me down the stairs. I had one ghost that slapped me on the back of my neck, and I know it was because when I was doing those jobs, those ghost jobs, I was scared. Because you're walking through a dark warehouse. Yeah. You don't know where they're going to be. And so I would always give off this fear.
They work on the element of surprise, right? They work a lot on the element of surprise.
Yes. Yes. And so they thrive on our fear energy. And so, we eventually, I know I took a break. I said, okay, I'm not dealing with ghosts. And it was at least a year before I went on another ghost job. And that time, my brother, Michael, he was, oh gosh, girl, he never had to take a class. He's been psychic his whole life. And he used to talk, when he was a little boy, like 5 and 6 years old, he would talk about the colors around people. And we had no clue what he was talking about. He would talk about spirits that he saw. We didn't have any idea what he was talking about. We just thought there was something wrong with him. And it was about a year later when one of my students asked me if I would come and look and see if she had ghosts in her house, because her house had been for sale on the market for a year. And she said people would come up to the front door and they would turn around and go back to their cars. And so I called my brother and I said, this lady thinks she might have a ghost and there's no way I'm going to do this by myself. Will you go with me? And he said, of course. And that's when we got started. And because, gosh, girl, I mean, all we thought about, we just called it, well, we're going on a ghost job. And then when the movie Ghostbusters came out, one day we were in the car and we said, oh my God, we're Ghostbusters. I mean, we just thought that was so funny. And the media, I don't even know how, but they picked up on it. And we got, over the years, we've had a lot of publicity for being Ghostbusters. And so that, Michele, that's what led to this particular book that we're talking about today, because what we did was we go into a house, we look for the ghost, we find the ghost, we ask them, what is your name and why are you here? Why don't you go on to the other side? And so, you know, Michele, it was about probably a year and a half ago, I was mowing the grass, and this idea popped into my head of writing a book about the 6 main reasons why ghosts, why souls choose not to go on to the other side. And so that's what this book is about, so that other people that are living, so that they can read the book and say, oh, yeah, do I believe in life after death? Anyway, honey, that's what the book is about, is the 6 main reasons. There's been other reasons, but the 6 main reasons why these folks choose to stay earthbound. So there, I just talked your ear off solid for half an hour. Holy smokes.
Hey,
God.
It's enjoyable. This is my, I love, hearing people's stories. And also it's great for our listeners just to hear how this kind of ability unfolds for, a lot of people, because everybody's some of it's similar, but a lot of there's unique parts, I guess I would say. Yeah. And so many people awakening to these realms now, within themselves, their own intuition, and or becoming psychic. What would we've got let me see, I want to just make sure, I did do the little, I don't know if you were on air, little disclaimer about people calling in with questions, but I do like I do want to get to just a couple of, reasons why, in your experience, why people don't go to the other side. Okay. Let me just check this person. Do you have a question about our topic? You're on air.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Hello.
What's your first name?
My name is Jackie. Hi, Echo. Hi, Michele.
Hi.
Hi, Jackie.
Yeah.
What's
your question?
I've been told many different things ever since I was a teenager, and my mother used to take me for readings, and I couldn't understand why, because it seemed as if I was her only child that she would take, right? Mm-hmm. And I always do remember seeing people in my dreams, or at least feeling as if someone visited me from another generation. Or I remember sleepwalking at one point, and I saw a man, and the man turned out to be my grandfather. And because I saw a picture of him later, and it was the same man that I saw when I was sleepwalking. So I could honestly say that I've been told at different times that I had healing capabilities, and that I sense and I know stuff, and I know that I could smell things at different times. But just about the time when I really needed to, I guess, get more insight from my mother, who I know was a healer, who I know knew a lot of things. My mother transitioned. So since then, all hell broke loose within the family. And I know the day when I went to go see my mom, the day of her passing, I know that there was
Jackie,
some type
I'm going
of
to jump here. Jackie, what is your question? Are you wondering how to develop this?
All right, my question is, right now, I know that I'm dealing with some things that I don't fully understand. What could I do to get a better clarity with the messages that I'm receiving? Because they're coming very fast and sometimes overwhelming.
Okay. So I'm going to put you on hold and echo if you have anything you want to share about that. It's a great question, Jackie. A lot of people are in that position that are opening up right now. So I really, really appreciate you asking that question.
Thank you for taking my question. I didn't mean to be long-winded. It's just a lot.
Okay. If I had longer time, but I want to make sure that you get your question answered, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, sweetie. You're so welcome. All right, Echo, any thought?
Oh, honey. I mean, well, I'm sitting here listening to her, and she said all hell broke loose. I don't know what that means. I don't know. She wants clarity on the things that have happened, but again, I don't really.
on how to open up. How do you, when these gifts or she's picking things up, what is the best way to support that?
Oh, geez, honey. Well, I wrote a book called The Gift. What, sweetheart?
What helped you in opening up to your gifts and trusting them? It sounds like Jackie has some natural ability in gifts, things opening up. And, of course, when things open up, all hell does break loose, the emotions, family, dynamics, everything up in the air.
Yeah.
But what helps an individual navigate through that and to begin to trust their intuition more and reinforce their intuition more? And I would open up to say, what helped you? Yeah.
Okay, so to me, I differentiate the difference between intuition and psychic abilities. To me, intuition. Well. Okay.
Everyone
so to me, intuition.
Everyone has intuitive, but not psychic.
Yes.
We're on the same page there. Yeah.
Right, honey. So okay, I have written a book called The Gift, which really helps people understand their psychic abilities, how to navigate, how to deal with the family stuff that comes up because, well, a lot of families, at least with my students, a lot of the families really have a hard time with it. They don't know what it is. Some of it's religious. A lot of it is religious beliefs that, the family worries the person's hanging out with Satan, blah, blah, blah. So I would definitely recommend getting a copy of The Gift. And I also wrote a book called A Still Small Voice, which really is helpful on how to live intuitively. And if she can, so I guess the other thought is that she could call a New Age bookstore if she has one in her area and see if there's anyone that teaches these classes, just so that she can talk to somebody that does this for a living. Not somebody, she needs a professional that's been doing this for a while and understands the different problems that arise from these gifts.
That's
what
I
are your
would
thoughts?
say is to get the support and the gift. I mean, when you grew up, when I grew up, it was few and far between. It was almost like, you'd get guided. Now there's more reputable, online.
Yes.
But yes, I would agree with you. The support, I think, is so important. Books are great too. I mean, you want to have those as resources, but live support of somebody that has it's reputable. I think that's a really good. I think we can squeeze one more in, and then we got to scoot everybody. Sue in the chat is saying, "Sounds so familiar." Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it could be pretty daunting when the gifts, and I agree, even just the intuition, right? Even just knowing things intuitive, let alone being psychic, or channeling. Okay, let's see. We got somebody here. One more, and then we'll... Hi, you're on air. Did you have a question about our topic or Echo?
Hi. Oh,
who is it?
This is Michelle, and I'm calling from Georgia.
Okay.
I actually joined a little late, so I took you off speaker. I actually joined a little late, so I don't know if you were having a topic, but I had a question about my future.
Oh no! That's next week. 12 o'clock Pacific time. We're talking right now with Echo Bodine. We're talking about her book, How to Live a Happily Ever After Life. And we've been talking about developing your intuition and becoming psychic, and a little bit also about ghosts, beings that are disembodied beings. But keep listening, okay? We're glad to have you here.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay. What's the name of the book?
How to live
happily. Go ahead.
How to live a happily ever after life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all her information is in the description box. So, and if you go to her website, she has that book and other books and resources. But if you go to the podcast, whether you're listening through the Blog Talk or Spotify or iHeart, wherever you're listening, whatever platform, there will be a description of today's show, and then how to connect with her.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. How to Live a Happily Ever After Life is the name of the book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Michele, you take good care. Hope to hear from you again. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you're welcome, Sue, in the chat. Thanks, Michele and Echo. Wonderful to listen to this.
Oh, good.
Yes, and then Sue saying, family and friends have a hard time always with someone opening up.
Yes.
Yeah, even with intuition, even though it's the sixth sense. I mean, it's natural. People,
I know.
Most people have, right? People really resist a lot of times.
Yes. Family members, honey, again, a lot of it is religion. They somehow...
Yes.
People think it's against religion. Yeah. It's like, what? Yeah. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, me as well.
Oh.
Well, it's because the mystic part of the religion was taken out, where everyone was tuning in and having visions. All that stuff got edited out. And, you know, it's like only the Pope can know this, or the priest. Otherwise, it's the devil. And, it's like people, I guess, get scared. But
I know.
But hopefully books like yours and what you're putting out there will help people not fall into that trap. Yeah.
Yes. I hope so. I really, intuition is like the coolest thing we've got going as human beings. Yeah. And, I mean, it guides us. It gives us every ounce of help we need. And so many people just get scared of it. It's just so sad. So I'm just going to keep on talking about intuition.
Yeah,
I tell you.
You have to, Echo. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Keep on talking, putting it out there. You're not just a ghostbuster, but a mythbuster.
That's right. And honey, you know what? I think it's more ghost counseling than anything. I mean, really, how do you bust
I like
a ghost?
That term, ghost counseling. No, because you do. You get in a conversation with them and help them go to the other side. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But what you said, you can't be on the level of fear. It's got to be like you're just talking to somebody like you're talking to a person that parked in this spot, your spot. You're like, hey, you want to move out of that spot, okay?
Yes.
Just come on, move on.
Yes. Exactly.
All right, Echo. Yeah, but now, Echo, give us your website URL so people can easily. It's in the. A lot of people listen to the archives, so let's just do it for the listeners. Although it's in the description box, but what is the website URL?
Honey, it's echobodine.com. Really simple. And I'm on Facebook. I've got Echo Bodine and Echo Lee Bodine on Facebook. And I also do an intuitive living podcast twice a month. So,
I'd love to come on and share.
Yes, there's lots of fun stuff that they'll find on the website. Lots of fun stuff.
Okay. Very cool.
Gosh. Thank you, honey, for today.
Yeah, this has been lovely. And you take good care, and we'll be in touch.
Okay, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here, and everyone that called in, everyone in the chat, and also, as always, thank you, listeners that I know that listen later in the replays. Appreciate you just FYI, some of you joining late, come and connect with me on the YouTube, my YouTube channel, also on Instagram. Love to see you there as well if you want to do a deeper dive or do courses or classes with me. Patreon is the way to go, or you can email me at awakeningspodcast@gmail.com. We'll put you on the list for when I'm doing courses and through Union. And again, all things awakenings, guest suggestions, topic suggestions, anything you need to know, awakeningspodcast@gmail.com is the way to go. Soul Lights, continue to shine your light, share your insights, and of course, keep awake. And I will see you next week.
Awakenings broadcasts every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michelle's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.